Our second guest in the Leading Ladies series is Selina McIntyre, an incredible young woman who has overcome incredible adversity in her life to carve out a successful career as a young agent. So, Selina, you grew up in the country, and you credit your drive and your success today to your own mother, which I think is absolutely wonderful. So tell us a little bit about what you observed of your mum.
Yeah, so my mum, can everyone hear me okay? There we go. So my mum, she had my elder sister when she was 18, which is quite young. And then she was a business manager since the age of 22 and has been since, I think, last year she stopped. So she was a really, really hard worker. She had many obstacles and she had to support a family at a really young age. She's incredible, and she probably doesn't know that I actually think this about her as well. If she knew that I was talking about her so positively, she'd be like, wow, geez, someone put something in Selina's drink this morning. So she wouldn't even know that I'm saying this, but she's a really hard worker, and she devoted basically her whole life to her family and to myself and to my sisters. So I'm really, really thankful that she did that, and she's definitely a big driver for me, and I've learned so much from her, and she never lets anything get in the way. She was a business manager in the electrical industry, and if anyone knows that industry, it's very male dominant. So she had a lot of hurdles and obstacles over the way and over the years, but she got through them and was very strong and persistent and never gave up. So, I credit, my personality is very much similar to hers, and she's a massive driver for me.
So having a wonderful mum as an inspiration for you, who's carved the way, who you've watched as childhood, your mother was also, very mindful that growing up in a small country town, she wanted to throw you into something where you were distracted from, you were able to focus, and that thing turned out to be sport. You didn't like school, but you did love sport. So tell us a little bit about your sporting journey.
Yeah, so my parents, they were both really big in sporting, and they were both quite good at it as well. So they always threw my sister and I into every opportunity that was presented, and one of the main ones for me was hockey. I really loved hockey, and I really held on to it, and I did quite well over the years. And I think... I actually can't remember your question.
Yes, no,
Sorry.
So we were chatting the other day about hockey and how, when you were at school, you absolutely hated school, because another thing that's interesting is that I have always been a believer of this, and your mum was a believer of this as well, that my personal ethos is, you don't have to be top of the class at school or bright at school to succeed in life. You just have to have a good work ethic and to treat other people well. And that's something that you didn't like school, and your mum also threw you into sport because she felt that it would give you those skills which you're now using about teamwork. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, so now we're back on track, thank you. School for me, I definitely didn't enjoy it. I didn't want to be there. All I wanted to do was just play sport. I love sport, and I was good at it, so that's all I wanted to do. And Mum and Dad were both really big supporters of that. And my mum, being a business manager, she used to hire people and fire people a lot of the time, and she would always say to me, I would always hire a sporting person over someone that had gone to uni or had a really great resume, because they're really hardworking, they work in a team environment and all tracking towards the same goal. You're consistent, you lean on your team members, you lean in, and you learn all the time. And I think I think sporting people are really good people to hire, and they just have that work ethic and that drive, and that's what there's some great lessons from that.
So you left school, and like many, young people who do leave school, you were fabulous at hockey. You'd been representing the state year after year in hockey, but you finished school and you think, I want to be a real estate agent one day. but then your voice and your head is saying to you, but I'm too young, no one will respect me. So there was a period in your life that you were telling me the other day where you were actually directionless, and it was quite a flat time of your life, because all of a sudden you had adversity, you didn't have structure, you didn't have direction, and then on top of all of that, you injured yourself badly and couldn't continue hockey. So tell us about that period and how you got yourself out of that and back on track.
Yeah, so when I left school, I was quite lost. I didn't really know which way I wanted to go, and I moved to Brisbane from Toowoomba, which is quite scary. I didn't really know too many people, and there were a lot of people that came from Toowoomba to Brisbane, and they went to university, so I thought that was kind of what you were meant to do, but I wasn't quite ready for that step yet. So I was a bit lost. I had a year off, and I worked for Hayman's, which was the worst thing I've ever done, but it taught me a lot. And yeah, male dominant industry, terrible job. I was in inventory, so I was counting screws every single day, and then I had to figure out how many screws were missing and where were they. So that was terrible, because most of the time they were stolen by the tradies, so I was not getting them back. But that job taught me a lot. It taught me that there's far more to life than counting screws, and if you want something, then you've got to go hard for it. And I wanted more to life than that. So that's when I gave uni a go, because I was still so lost. I didn't know what I wanted, but I knew everyone my age was at uni, so I thought, great, I'll try it. And I've always loved children, and I've loved sport, so I thought, well, PE teacher, that sounds pretty good. I'll give that a go. And I tried it, but I went for 3 weeks, and I thought, well, I've got to get out now, because otherwise you have to pay for that semester. So I thought, well, I don't want to pay for something I don't want to do, so I'm not doing it. So I dropped out, and I found myself really lost again. So I kept working, and that kind of led me to my next job. And the next job for me was working in a gym, which is Function Well, where I met Hazley and Matt and Brandon and Scotty. So that sort of eventuated and led me on to the next point. But there was a period there, probably for about 2 years, where I was so lost and I just didn't know where to go, but I just went with the opportunities. And when something presented, I grabbed it with 2 hands and ran full bore at it. So yeah.
So something else that I think is really beautiful about your journey as well, that you've shared, very similar to Trin, is Trin has had an incredibly supportive husband who has said go for it, encouraged her, pushed her. You have had a very similar thing with your partner, haven't you?
Yeah, he's amazing. His name's Marshall, and I've actually been with him since I was 15, so quite young. And funny story, actually, I was a little bit cheeky in school, mostly because I didn't want to be there. I didn't like it. And I met him at 15, and I was probably 6 months into a relationship with him, and my teachers started saying to me, what's changed? Like, why are you pulling your socks up now? And why is your hair tidy? And why are you wearing a ribbon like we've been telling you for the past 4 years? Like, what's going on? And I had to stop and think about it. I thought, geez, I don't know what's changed. But it was my partner, Marshall. He's always been there. He doesn't necessarily push me to be better, but he makes me want to be better because he's so great. And he wouldn't know that I'm saying this about him either. He would be like, oh, cringe. But he's always been there, and he's incredibly supportive. He understands this role. He knows that I'm going to be home late most nights. I'm not, available on Saturdays to go to the beach like we used to. And he's just, he's
accepting of it.
He's so accepting and so supportive.
So, like, all the stories that we're hearing today, you'd always had a burning desire to go into real estate. And here you are, you see Hayes coming in every day to Function Well, you see Matt, you see half of Ray, the collective, coming into Function Well. And you actually still wanted to do something, but you had what a lot of us experience when we have to move out of our comfort zone, and that was fear. So tell us a little bit about, you wanting to take that opportunity, the opportunity being presented to you, you having that fear, and how you had the courage to overcome your fear and take the opportunity to follow your dreams, to get into real estate, which you did actually manifest into your life.
Yeah, so like we sort of mentioned at the start, I'd always wanted to be in real estate, but I just didn't know when. And I found myself, I came back to work at the start of last year, which was in the gym, and nothing had really changed. I was so comfortable, too comfortable, nothing, everything was kind of getting easy, and that's when you know that you need to make a change, when things are feeling easy and you're just kind of going through the motions. So I knew that something had to change, and I knew real estate was always there, and I'd always wanted to do it, but just didn't quite know when. I thought I would wait until I was a little bit older to be more respected. But the opportunity came up with Brandon, and I knew him briefly, not really well, but briefly from the gym. Knew Matt, and I knew Hayes and Carla, and I thought, well, that's a really good business, and I know those people are really good people, not just good at what they do, but great people as well, and that's what I want to be a part of. I always want to be a part of a really good culture, and it was really, really hard for me to make the decision because I was comfortable and I didn't know anything different. All I knew was the fitness business and counting screws, but I just knew that if I didn't give it a crack, then I was never going to know. Like, you don't know until you try. I tried uni. I didn't know that I was going to hate it until I tried it, but I gave it a go. And that's sort of just what happened. I just had to take the leap. And I also had many conversations with Brandon before going into the team just to make sure that I was going to be the right fit and I was going to enjoy the role. He let me do work experience for, I think, maybe about 2 months, and I loved it. And I just thought, this is, my whole life has led me to this point, and this is exactly what I want to do. And I just knew if I made the jump, then I was going to give it everything.
And we're so proud of you because you are absolutely flying. That's why you're here today, because you are such an inspiration to us with your work ethic, your determination, staying back late at night, your can-do attitude, your humility. You're just such an inspiration to all of us here. I think finally today, with your motivation in life, you said something so beautiful to me the other day, that you have a why. Would you be happy to share your why that gets you up every morning, and why it is that you want to achieve great things in your life?
Yeah, I think everyone has many whys, and I have so many, but I think the main driver for me is that my parents, especially my mum, worked so hard to allow me to have these opportunities. I wouldn't be sitting here if it wasn't for mum and dad. And I want to be able to give back to them. I want to be able to, pay for their medical bills one day. I want to be able to buy them nice Christmas presents and support them and look after them and just give back for all of the opportunities that they ever gave me. I never missed out on anything. I didn't necessarily have all the nicest things, but I had all of the opportunities. I got to go to a good school. Every sporting carnival that came up, I got to go to every single one. I got the new uniform every time. I really want to be able to give back to them, as well as create a really good life for my future family. I don't have children yet, and not anytime soon, but I hope to one day, and I want to give them every opportunity. I want to send them to good schools and allow them to have all the opportunities in the world to hopefully be successful in whichever way they choose to be. So that's my why.
Thank you, Selina.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.